Now, today we are uncovering one very twisted love story involving a man, his wife, their 4 children, and his mistress. Now, imagine this. Your husband of 20 years falls in love with the other woman, and then he just decides, well, I want to keep you both. Now, can that be done? Charles says, just speak right up. Yeah, Charles says, yes, it can, that there's no reason that you can't do this. He's been brutally honest with his wife, Tracy, about his 6-month affair. Now, Charles has been juggling his time between his wife and his mistress. And Charles says, why can't I have both women? Take a look.
I'm getting a little older, and I think I'm looking for a change.
In September of last year, he told me that he was involved with another woman. He was not in love with me anymore.
I think I've exhausted my relationship with her after 22 years.
When Charlie told me about the affair, he was brutally honest.
She's already called me twice. She misses me.
Have you asked her to stop calling?
No. I was with both women for a period of 3 months. I even amazed myself as far as the sex is concerned. Didn't even know that I was capable of doing it because I'm nearly 50 and I was acting like a 25-year-old. I have needs and I needed more, and I got that with the other woman. The sex was actually a gift from the other woman to my wife. I know that sounds unbelievable, but it actually woke something up inside of me with her.
The irony in it is when the affair started, I was able to feel passion and emotion that I've never felt before.
The other woman does not have 4 boys in school. She did not have the responsibilities that my wife has. We quickly developed a relationship based on her ability to give me what I wanted. I'm the powerhouse in my environment. I am the alpha. I am the alpha of all my friends. I am the alpha of my family.
Charlie wanted us to explore the possibility of having a triangular relationship.
I can handle keeping both women emotionally and sexually fulfilled. I've always been blessed with a boundless dimension of energy. To me, it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I was able to keep it up for 3 months. It was a great ride. Is it bothering you?
For her to call 4 and 5 times a day, every day, I think is a little in excess. I lost 30 pounds. My hair was falling out. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. There's just something that happens in your heart when you find out the guy that you've loved and been intimate with for almost 20 years makes a conscious decision to be intimate with somebody else that he's told you he's in love with. That was very, very hard.
The other woman was very comfortable with exploring a polyfidelity lifestyle. It's a relationship where you don't have to get a divorce and that you would have 2 women in your life.
Charlie kept telling me, what do you have to lose? You have everything to gain. You won't be losing me. You won't be losing our marriage. You'll just share. The thought of it made me sick at my stomach. What do I do, Dr. Phil? Where do I go from here? I'm in limbo right now because I don't know what to do.
You say you don't know what to do. What part of this is confusing to you?
I don't want to make him leave because I want my marriage to work. And I'm afraid if I throw him out, he's going to go running to the other woman.
So you think it's reasonable to have what you call this polyfidelity relationship?
Well, no, I that was an alternative lifestyle that I wanted to explore. It wasn't something that I said, this is going to work and I'm going to cram it down your throat. I mean, was an exploration process.
You went to a counselor to make it work?
Well, to explore it.
To explore it?
Yes.
Okay. And what'd your exploration discover?
Well, it discovered that that my wife is absolutely unwaveringly not going to do it. And that chapter or the opportunity that I thought existed, that I created in my mind, to be with two women, shattered and dissolved right after our first counseling session.
Because you exploded after that, right? You got really mad, very upset with you because you didn't go with it.
But something snapped in me. I felt a little humiliated. I felt like I was going down a road that I shouldn't have gone down. I now have regret over the way I handled this with my wife.
Why did that seem reasonable to you at the time? Is that part of this alpha male syndrome that you're describing? You say you're the powerhouse alpha male.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't get how bullying your wife fits into some alpha male syndrome.
I never bullied my wife.
Well, it seems to me like you did when you say, I'm making dates in front of her. You said you flaunted the relationship in front of her. Mm-hmm. You told her, yeah, it's really heating up over there. And I really don't know that I would pay for you to live if you started dating somebody else. That seems to me to be bullying of the highest order, using money and threats as a lever. Now, if I'm wrong, tell me, because you were there, I wasn't.
No, you're wrong.
Okay, straighten me out.
You weren't there. It seemed like I was handling it in the most loving and caring way while it was happening. It seemed like it. And now,
think because he was being absolutely, totally upfront and honest with me. And he wasn't hiding everything, and he wasn't sneaking around behind my back. And
you said you appreciated that.
I have respect for the fact that he came to me and told me what was going on before the relationship became intimate.
And you thought that was the way to handle it?
no, but that's the way I handled it at the time.
Because, I mean, it's like saying, I robbed the bank, and as long as I tell you, then it should be okay. I mean, I did come rob the bank, I did get the money, but I'm honest about it. I'm calling you, telling you I'm the guy that did it. Okay. That doesn't seem, I mean, I don't see why that's okay with you.
None of this is okay with me. But the fact that it wasn't like I caught him red-handed, I feel like because he's been so honest with me that, I mean, I have a respect for him because he has been that way. He hasn't been, you know, he wasn't a guy that came to me and went, well, you know what, I'm just out of here. You just figure it out.
Are you out of here? Are you going to leave?
First of all, I'm not a bank robber, okay?
Your point?
We went through this together.
Excuse me. I got the feeling that was one of your alpha male confrontations.
No.
No, seriously. No, seriously. You said that and gave me that death stare, like, okay, buddy, I'm calling you out right now. What is this some macho thing with you?
No, it's not. I'm just telling you,
Because you want to bow up? Let's just bow up. Hell, I'm easy to find.
Well, then let's do it.
I mean, what's your point?
My point is
I'm trying to answer your questions because I think you're in a lot of trouble with a woman here that you have huge responsibilities for and have made a huge investment in. And you said, I made some decisions that seemed like a good idea at the time, and in retrospect, they weren't. I'm trying to be your friend here and tell you, you may be making some mistakes now that you want to consider. I don't ask you to substitute my judgment for your own, but I do want to give you some things to weigh, some alternatives to weigh.
My wife and the woman I was having the affair with, I thought would be interesting for them to become best friends.
He even asked me last night what it was about her that I thought would prevent us from being friends. And I said, the fact that she slept with my husband.
Well, today we're talking about being in love with two people at the same time. Now, Charles says he loves his wife, Tracy, and his mistress. He doesn't want to divorce Tracy. He wants to keep both women at the same time. Now, according to Charles, the two can share him. Let's hear what he has to say.
The basic concept of polyfidelity is there is more than one partner. It's just a sincere, loving, and caring relationship. What we looked at was the two women and one man relationship, where you promulgate hours and times to be with one or the other women.
It would make me question my morals and my ethics and my values, and I'm not doing that. And what would that teach the boys about commitment?
That type of lifestyle is mentioned in the Bible. Many cultures have adopted this style of life today.
We did go to a alternative lifestyle counselor, the three of us, to see if there was a way to make that work. I wanted to go hear this guy tell Charlie, there's no way this is gonna happen.
I became very angry when my wife decided it's just not for me and I'm not gonna do it.
I'm a very traditional person. I think that intimacy is sacred.
It has worked for thousands of years in other cultures. So why should we be victimized just because we live in America and not have an opportunity to be able to express ourselves emotionally and lovingly the way that I have been trying to do with these two women?
I kept thinking, well, if I'm better, or if I'm stronger, or if I can just be patient enough, this will just all go away. And it's not going away.
I'm willing to go on the show and show people out there that you don't have to get a divorce. You can have a loving and sincere relationship with more than one woman. If Dr. Phil could research this alternative lifestyle and see if the application fits in a genuine way between us, there may be some hope so we would never go down the divorce road.
Do you regret having the affair, or do you regret how you introduced and handled it and the reaction that you got?
The latter. You know, I'm still in love with the other woman, but I'm just at a point where I think if I had to make a decision, am I going to leave and be with this other woman or not be with my family, then it's an easy decision to make.
You said this was an exploration and you don't regret having the affair. You said the relationship with you is pretty much exhausted. You'd exhausted your relationship with her. Was that the word that you used?
Yes.
And so why not then just either get counseling to try to fix it or get a divorce and leave it? But there was a third alternative, which is, well, maybe I could have my cake and eat it too.
Yeah, that was a big mistake. That was...
I think he's realized now that that's not an option anymore.
Is February 19th still your move-out date?
Yeah. Why didn't I have feelings of remorse? I just want somebody to tell me, you know. That's why I'm here. Thank you. Thank you.
Would you like my opinion?
Yes,
and,
that's why I'm here.
And listen, you're not going to like my opinion.
Okay.
I can tell you already, but I think, you know, sometimes it's hard to hear the truth. And I think the reason that you didn't have any remorse from this is because you are incredibly arrogant and selfish.
Okay. I'll buy that.
And let me tell you why
I'll buy that.
Let me tell you why I say that. I'm not trying to say that to be unkind. You know, at some point, if somebody is, I've said before, it's kind of like if Evel Knievel was back here and he was going to jump a canyon, and I had done the math and said, okay, you need to be going 88 miles an hour or you're going in the bottom of the canyon, and he was coming up at 60, he'd kind of want, a friend would tell him, you know, somebody that cared, said, whoa, hold on, you ain't even close to clearing this canyon. You need to stop what you're doing. If somebody didn't, oh, I don't want to hurt his feelings, so I'm not going to tell him, there he goes. Well, I'm going to tell you, this polyfidelity, you know, you wanted me to research it. Well, I didn't just come in on a load of turnips. I read everything that's out there. When I look up polyfidelity in the Dr. Phil dictionary, it says cheating. You know, that's just, it is.
I can accept that.
I mean, it's just, you know, you can put little words on it and everything. You can tie it up every way you want to, but basically it means you leave your house, go to somebody else's house, take off your clothes, get in bed, and have sex. Okay, now if that's polyfidelity, then there you have it. You know, it's one thing to go and have an assignation with someone else. It's another thing to come home and punish your partner with it. Make dates in front of her. Tell her, oh yeah, I'm still talking to her, no problem, I'm leaving. You know, I'm tired of this. She has more free time than you do. That's because she's raising your children. Those are your 4 kids. That's why she's busy. And so
I'm okay with that.
And so you decide, well, okay, I'll figure a way where it's an enlightened thing, where this other woman is actually a gift to her.
Well, no, wait a minute.
No, you did. You said that because it
Of course I
awakened
said that.
you, and it awakened
did.
her, and it awakened everybody.
It did, and the attraction to the other woman was great. Okay, it was so tempting for me because we had disconnected. Okay, this wasn't something I was out looking for. It just happened. Okay.
Now, see, you don't like it when they react. You said earlier, you know, I'm in here and they're like laughing at what I'm saying. But if what you're saying is laughable, then you're going to have, and really, you need. That's the whole idea of seeing it through the female point of view.
The woman I had the affair with, you know, had these very special qualities. Number one, she's very, very attractive. And I mean very attractive. When she walks by, this is the kind of woman that men fall out of their chairs. Up to this point, I have had no remorse. None. I feel like everything I did was justified. I feel like I have all the answers. Most people would look at it as polygamy, which is illegal. But this is polyfidelity, which is a sincere relationship with more than one person.
I would rather be alone than share my husband knowingly with another woman, because I've got kids to raise and I've got to teach them a good lesson.
Well, today we're talking about what I think is a twisted logic love story where Charles thinks, or says he has thought, that he can have it all if only his wife would accept this other woman into their lives. Now, she is on the phone. Hello?
Yes, hello.
Okay. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I hear you fine.
I'm curious what your position is on this at this point, because frankly, it seems like this is really not working at all on any level. How is your relationship with Charles at this point?
Well, I think that he needs to figure out what he's going to do with his life, and then at that point, I mean, I just think he needs to figure things out with his wife, and I just need to stay out of the equation at this point.
Are you still having a relationship with him now?
No, we parted ways and decided to let him and Tracy figure out their life, and I sort of walked away.
Well, you saw him Sunday for your birthday, didn't you?
Briefly, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still in contact?
Mm-hmm.
In contact, yes.
We were friends for 13 years before all this started. One of the reasons I wanted to move out is I wanted to find out why or what kind of separation anxiety I would have with my family. And this wasn't where, this isn't where somebody moves in, like, the other woman just moves right in. And I wasn't going to start dating. I just wanted to find, I was searching in myself. Why did this seem okay for me to go explore the polyfidelity, which was a disaster? But what would happen if I moved into the apartment? How would I feel? How would I develop a relationship with my boys? Separate from my wife. Those are the feelings that I want to explore and go through.
How do you feel about the other woman at this point? Do y'all talk at all, other than when you went to the counseling to try to work out the alternative?
We have spoke, we met for lunch one day by ourselves, and we were very honest with each other about how we feel about what's going on. I don't hate her. I don't think she's a bad person. She at one point told me that she was going to walk away and let us figure this out, and if it didn't work between Charlie and I, then they could go on their way. And she hasn't done that.
Yeah. Do you feel like an interloper into someone else's marriage here?
Well, that's what I've told Charlie all along, is that that's not what, it's not what I'm about. I don't want to break up a family, and I'm not interested in that at all. And that's when the polyfidelity thing came into play. He as well didn't want to hurt Tracy, He wanted to make sure she was taken care of for the rest of her life, and he was trying to be a good guy and make everybody happy, but it's just an impossible situation to make everybody happy unless everybody agrees.
You knew Charles was married when you first got involved with him romantically, correct?
Yes, I did.
So you knew he had children 18, 16, 11, and 6?
Yes.
And a wife and a home?
Yes.
Uh-huh. How did you square that up with it not being who you are or what you're about?
He had told me that he was getting a divorce, that he was basically going to be separating Tracy, and then basically what happened was he started telling Tracy about the feelings that we were having for each other, and at one point Tracy, I guess, and Charlie had talked about him going and exploring this, and Tracy was, I guess, according to what I was told, Tracy was okay with this, that she wanted him to explore this, and she wanted him to, and that's when we set up our first night together.
Were you okay with that? I mean, you were saying that you understood that Tracy was open to at least discussing it, obviously, but were you okay also with having like half a husband or sharing a relationship with another woman and one man?
So I'd have to say yes. I mean, I'm quite open-minded person.
Well, I'm talking to Charles and his wife Tracy. The other woman in this relationship is on the phone. Now, Charles has said across time that he had wanted to explore a polyfidelity relationship where he is shared between his wife and the other woman. He's since decided that wasn't the best plan because it wasn't received well at home, or it doesn't sound like particularly well away from home either. Were you hearing her say some things that he said that just weren't what you heard?
Well, she said that she thought that I was okay, knowing that they had planned to spend the night together, and I've never been okay, and she knows that.
But you have gone to bed and had sex with your husband knowing that just a few hours before he had been in bed having sex with the other woman.
When all this happened, Charlie and I reconnected intimately in a way that, not because I didn't get some sick thrill out of knowing he was sleeping with somebody else. It's just through all the hours and hours of honesty and talking over and over and over, we were able to strip lots of layers away.
Let me explain to you what I think's happening there. Because I've been dealing with human behavior for 30 years, and so I've seen this a lot. That's not an uncommon reaction, by the way. It's kind of the repossessing, the territoriality, the reasserting of your ability to claim and control and be involved. And generally what happens, just so you know for the future, generally what happens is one partner, either man or woman, will have that response. It's like, oh my gosh, and so they'll go and try to rebalance things, get it back to the status quo. And then once they do, and once you, therefore, the desperation, the urgency, the fear goes away, you get so damn mad you can't see straight, and this gives you absolutely unshirted hell. Because once you get over that, oh my God, I almost lost him, and then you go, oh yeah, I almost lost him. You son of a bitch.
See, I'm not there yet.
No, but that's
I'm not there yet.
that's the roller coaster that it goes on.
It is a roller coaster, and I'm ready to get off.
We're talking to Charles, his wife Tracy, and the other woman in this relationship is on the phone. Now, he has wanted a plan where both women would share him. What do you think is the best route for you to pursue at this point?
Well, I would never, ever look at the polyfidelity relationships ever. We explored it. It didn't work. I want to find out why I did this in the first place.
You didn't like my answer?
Well, you don't know me real well, and neither does the audience. okay?
Well, but listen, and I
There are
don't.
a lot of facts here that people aren't getting, and that it would take a lot more than just a show. Like I said in the video, maybe I was a kid in a candy store, and I did whatever I could to feed that insatiable desire of sweets, with no regard to what I'm doing with my wife. I realize I've done that, and at this point, why was it so unstoppable when I continued this? Because I'm basically a pretty good guy.
I don't dislike you in any fashion whatsoever. But I mean, I look at these things as objectively as I possibly can. And you've said, nobody will tell me why I'm this way. I think part of it truly is, I think you're, how do I say this? I think you're just mighty proud of the way you turned out. All
right. I can accept that. No, I can accept that.
No, I think you.
Yeah.
I think you.
Like I am conceited and overbearing.
I think there are a lot of things that you're very proud of in your life. I think you think you're intelligent and that you've been successful in your life and that you've accumulated achievements and material things and friends. And I think you look at a lot of those things and say, if you were going to put together a resume, those are good things. Those are positive things. You just kind of forgot about some of the elements and aspects of being a human being and a life partner, because it has a lot to do with the ability to see things from other people's point of view. I don't think when you stood up all of those years ago in those wedding pictures that we saw, you didn't say, I agree to be your life partner until I feel that I've worn you out, until I've exhausted my relationship with you. You cut a deal back then, and now you're trying to retrade the deal because you hit a time when you disconnected and it wasn't very much fun.
Yes.
But I'm going to tell you something. You just don't fix relationship problems ever by turning outside the relationship to try to fix them. That's not how you do it. All that does is run it off in the ditch. But if the only point of view you're considering is your own, then it makes sense, because that feels good, but yet you don't want to bail out on this and your children. So you're trying to say, it's not going to change in a negative way how I feel towards her, because I'm already disconnected. All it's going to do is awaken me and enliven me and give me a breath of fresh air that I can bring into my relationship. That's all fine from your point of view, until you say, what does it do to a woman who has said, this is no dress rehearsal, I am going through this life one time, and I gave you 20 years and 4 children. You cannot walk away from me in this way. How am I doing? And so,
thank you.
What do you want her to do?
Go away.
What do you want her to do?
In light of all this, probably the same. Now, you need to know this. I've told her to go away 3 times. Okay. That's fine. I emailed her the other night before we got on a plane to come out here. I emailed her. I said, I want the key to the office. I want my cell phone. I want you to clean your stuff out. Because she knew I was coming onto the show, and she thought it was a big joke. Just a big joke. And that to me showed me a side that I didn't like. And I'm only human, everybody just chill out.
One of the things that I'm really curious about is why you're waiting to see what he's going to do with your life. As opposed to saying, look, I am your wife, I am the mother of your children, and what's more, I am me. And I am entitled to be treated with dignity and respect. And all of this crap about as long as I tell you I'm cheating on you and running around, then that's some kind of moral high ground. What a complete and utter load of crap. I mean, you have to decide, you have to decide that you're not just a passenger in this thing. I've said so often, if the cost of being half of a couple is to stop being all of who you are, the price is too high. Okay? That's true for both of you. That's true for both of you. Now, and let me tell you what I absolutely believe. You are in a relationship that you made a deal, and you've got an 18-year-old, a 16-year-old that absolutely know what's going on. Mm-hmm. You have an 11-year-old that, in my opinion, is showing real signs of knowing what's going on.
Yeah, he suspects.
So you have a job here. You are a role model. You are a provider mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially. And I read the emails where you're basically saying, oh, by the way, I don't know whether I would support you or not if you went out on your own and started dating. Mm-hmm. Okay, now...
That was a very tough day.
That's what that is.
Yeah, okay.
It is. That's a thing to say.
Good.
Right?
It was.
Don't you owe full focus, undivided attention to turn over every stone, to investigate every avenue of potential rehabilitation, to see if there is a way to maintain the integrity of this family and marriage. And if and when you've done that, if and when you've seen counselors, done whatever you need to do, individually, collectively, familially, whatever, if at that point you can say, I honestly believe I've done everything I can possibly do and I just have nothing more to give, then 5 years from now, 6 years from now, when your children come to you and say, why did you divorce my mother? Then you can say, well, it isn't because I started running with some other woman. You can say, I weighed this very carefully. I did everything I knew how to do.
But I want Charlie to, if he chooses to reconnect in the marriage and work on the marriage, I want him to do it because it's what he wants, not because I'm the default.
Okay, and if he doesn't, if he can't bring that, after a period of self-examination, a period of questioning from counselors or whatever, if he says, I've heard it all, I've seen it all, I got nothing to give, got nothing here.
Then he needs to let me go.
Then it's not a matter of he needs to let you go, you need to decide you're gone. So what you need more data is what you're saying. I want him to talk to someone that will tell him the truth. Are you willing to do that?
Yes.
You're seriously willing to send, and it means you got to wall that off so you don't have distraction.
Okay.
And if are you not willing to do that, or you are willing to do that?
No, wait a minute. Okay. Also, the other equation of this is, yes, I'm willing to do it. Because it's real easy for me to say, I've known this woman for 13 years. She really is a good friend. Of course, she's more than that now, but or was. And I really did communicate to my wife when I really thought we were done. I came to my wife and I said, we're done. I've fallen in love with the other woman. Why didn't I leave? Why didn't you kick me out?
I asked you to leave 3 times.
Because that's where this could have gone, just like that. And it didn't happen. We reconnected. You see, we really did. We couldn't leave each other. I had it in my mind that I was not going to leave my children and my wife for somebody that I think I know real well, but it just wasn't worth it for me to leave.
Well, you're saying she's like a really good friend. Well, look, it seems to me
for years,
it seems to me that the loyalties here, if you put them on a totem pole, wife and kids are so far above friends that, and believe me, she has ownership in this. I mean, you guys mismanaged this friendship, right? You said it just happened.
It turned into a boiling point as well.
Yeah, so, I mean, you either got to cut that off, and if he's unwilling to cut that off, not just in word but in deed, then you need to get out of this. If you're in a situation where infidelity is involved, whether self-destructive behaviors are creeping into your relationship, then I want you to go to drphil.com, because I'm going to have resources there that you can look at. I'm going to have questions to ask yourself about whether what you're doing is heading you down the wrong path in your marriage and in your family. So drphil.com for answers. I appreciate everybody being here today. Thank you so much. Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.